5, 3rd and 8. 21 is the nail in the coffin. Not a good start. We drop our first game of the season to the Texans. Bottom Levis gonna step up. He has a clear path to the end zone. Will Levis down to the bottom, diving catch for the rookie. As they go with the draw, blocking does well, but the flag will be the ender. And after getting shut out in week 3, the team would finally pick up their first win of the season. And in certain games, Levis looks fantastic. In others, as I just gave Williams a compliment, we keep kicking the ball around. We can't get that, settle for the field goal, but we've got Higbee and downfield as we have Robinson here. A little bit of speed as he weaves, and he is gone. 10-5 touchdown, though it's thrown straight at the linebacker. Only one win once again. We're trending towards a similar start to last year. And following such a slow start to this season, Season 3, an integral part as we only have till the end of Season 5 to win the Super Bowl or we fail the challenge, Will Levis is not really on pace to show much of any improvement. 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 62% completion at about the midway point. And I will be honest, I was fully ready to trade Will Levis and any and everything that we possibly could to bring in a quarterback from a division rival in Lamar Jackson, who is over at the Jaguars. And I tried. I 100% tried. That was going to be the theme of today's episode, was to give up everything for Lamar Jackson and have the most unrealistic possible trade take place. We gave him our first round pick in the next couple seasons, plus a second round pick in 2028. It's the best of what we have. And on top of that, we were going to offer them Will Levis to replace their quarterback need. And I was going to throw in Yaya Diaby, as they do have a need at left end. It's their third biggest need. I put together all of this. It's as much as we could do here in Madden. Submit the offer, and it only gets us to halfway. So there is no possible way we could trade for Lamar Jackson. Outside of going through and changing trade difficulty, I believe it's on this the standard. There might be an easy under it, and maybe that would get us to a point of where we could get Lamar Jackson. But that seems a little bit cheaty. So while we are not going to be able to bring in Lamar Jackson, we still have to find a way to bring in talent where possible. And maybe that becomes someone like Jair Alexander. Technically a rival for us on this channel, though that would be with the Panthers traditional franchise, as we just played against the Falcons, and spoiler alert in case you missed yesterday's video, we're playing them again tomorrow. But let's try to work out a deal here for cornerback Jair Alexander. That's been a pretty weak spot for us throughout this series, constantly just having to hope that the younger guys, the lower overall guys, can make some way. But what will eventually work is quite a lofty trade, though we're getting a decent pick back as well. We're going to give up a first round pick this year as well as next year. The third rounder coming from 2028, the fourth round from this year as well as next year, and a fifth round from this year. But we're going to get Jair Alexander. We're going to get a 2 for this year. So we essentially switch out one of the first rounders for a second rounder, and we're going to get back a 6th round pick from this year. So we give up a lot, but it's actually a fair bit in return. Now that does leave us over our 53, so we will be releasing DeAndre Square. And while this move doesn't necessarily fix our problem on offense, it might buy our offense a little bit more time to get going in these games with hopefully a much better pass defense. The cover skills are phenomenal, and if he could force some turnovers as well along the way, that will go a long way in helping us right the ship and start to compete against the Jaguars this year. So with that being the case, let's jump in against the 2-4 Jets here, watch a little bit of the defense, and see if Alexander does make some plays. And defense is how we get underway here in MetLife. Richardson, the quarterback, he's going to take it. Read option, play one, and already it's a big one. Love will eventually get the tackle, but it's a gain of 14. But the trade is definitely putting our defense in a much better spot. Everything outside of interior defensive line is looking pretty solid, as everyone kind of teams up there to get the stop. Going through the list, at linebacker, we got JOK to lead the group there, plus 2 great other starting caliber guys. Defensive line, edge rush, we got Joshua Allen. And then at safeties, 2 solid options in Love and Gilman. So the defense, again, except for that interior, which we are trying something new in this game, we'll talk about that in a second, is looking really good. And hopefully we see ourselves take that next step, though we give up the first down there on 3rd. Richardson finds Sky Moore, but down the middle here in the nickel and dime packages, you're going to see number 93. That is Pashal. He has the same strength as Tillery, so we're actually going to start Tillery and Pashal as interior pass rushers, and hopefully that's going to get us a lot more play in the face of quarterbacks. Getting Yaya Diaby out there as well, who's actually had better stats per playing time, though I think he got slipped by as Richardson picks up the first. But at this point, we just got to try things. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So we're putting out all of our pass rushers, whether they're in a ideal spot or not. As it's a throw across body, goes for another first down. Slayton trying to tack on as many as he can. Not sure why Love and Bentley celebrating following that, because they gave up the first down. As the Jets down to the 23. Still looking to pass the ball, have not ran much, but it opens up for the running lanes as Richardson takes a hit from McFadden and just falls down. Can't really say it was necessarily a tackle, but it works for us. Though they are down to the 11. They got 2 tight ends at the top of the line. They will go with a stretch, and that is a great seal on the edge. To the side of our newly acquired corner as well. Not a great first look. Well, we have seen plenty from our offense, so we're actually going to not pay much attention to the offense in this game. Primarily focus on the defense. Though if the offense wants to go off, all the better, as Aaron Donald knocks it away. But this really is a fantastic play from Wan'Dale Robinson. 44 yards to the house. We answer back quickly. I was trying to talk on Will Levis and really try to emphasize on how he was given an amazing opportunity with the Jaguars not even going to talk to us about a trade as we knock that one out. Alexander with the play. But like I said, fully intended to bring in Lamar Jackson. Unfortunately, just wasn't going to happen. So instead, we make a trade at corner. Hopefully, again, that's going to be a good elevator for us as it's downfield. 2 broken up passes this drive by Alexander. We'll give the defense that first drive. It was a slight learning curve. Some guys in some new spots, a new guy on the team. Hopefully from here on out, we'll see a little bit of some better play as Richardson scrambling. Pashal will get credit for the sack, though essentially it was at the line of scrimmage. But now we're very much back to the waiting game, though hopefully not having to wait very long for this offense to take that next step. Again, we're relying on a lot of unproven receivers to make plays, and we just have to hope that they do. And also a whole lot of Kyron Williams. That has got to be an emphasis as he picks up the first down there for us. We get to the second quarter, tied game, though Claypool continuing to get the start. He gets them down inside the 8. Williams down to the inch line, and he will pound it in the next play. We take a lead 13-7 with 7 minutes left to go in this quarter. And hopefully, we'll see some big plays from the defense along the way. We start with a double A gap look. They hand it off. We are sitting there early. Truck attempt. Probably took out his own momentum. Gain of 2. And considering what they saw on that play, they're just not going to move him to the backfield on this one. 2nd and 8. It's an empty set for Richardson, though still a threat to run. But he will dump it off for his tight end. Decent gain. Make it 3rd and short. Dalton Kincaid was the target there. Now, do they go with the running game here? They've been a pretty heavy passing team. Stretch, opens it up, we meet it, ball pops out and recovered. I believe that is McFadden jumping on it. Ford had the touchdown, but since then, nothing good. And as we watch the replay here, guess who knocked that ball out? It is Jair Alexander. Perfect start so far, outside of the touchdown drive, but we're looking to tack on some more points following the turnover. Williams has us down to the 5, and he will get his second touchdown of the day. 21-7 halfway through the second quarter. And honestly, with this lead, let's start to move through this game a little bit quicker, maybe get more so into the fourth quarter. Although driving here now after 2 big catches. 14-yard Slayton gets them down inside the 15, inside the 10 at the 6, 2nd and 5, 4 yards, 3rd and 1 at the 2, 2-yard touchdown, they draw it back. Offense, can we get a pretty quick answer in return then? A little over 2 minutes, or exactly 2 minutes left here following the Will Levis scramble. What do we do next? Well, there's a play that Madden, just fix that. Knocked away by Quay Walker. 2nd and 10, 14 goes to Claypool. With over a minute left, still thrown away by Levis. 2nd and 10, 16 yards to Robinson. Get us inside the red zone, or how about down to the 6? We've actually seen some deep passing return to this offense in this game. Exactly what we need, as it's the flat. Higbee will get us our touchdown before halftime. Offense, they're cooking. Maybe it's a good thing the Jaguars weren't up for the trade. And honestly, maybe it was just the little push forward that Will Levis needed to start to get his game going. 28-14. We're definitely missing a play there, and it doesn't fully show up here. 17 yards and then the 7, though there was definitely a gap there that I'm not quite sure what happened. But if Madden is up to its sketchiness here, let's finish off this drive. 39 seconds left. Jets have 1 timeout. They go up top. Quick tackle as McLeod getting the start at the outside corner today. Valentine, who has been getting the start, he's out injured. The rookie in Alden, he's playing slot. So again, we're trying some different things. As a throw is for a first down. They find Dalton Kincaid, though. Are they going to call their timeout here? Yes, they do. 4 seconds left. Field goal unit will head out. This to at least tack on some points before halftime, and it is down the middle. Jets will make it 28-17 as we get our second half underway with possession. An opportunity to extend our lead as we are up 11. Wan'Dale Robinson picking up 14. Looks like we're getting the ball pretty spread around through the air. This Ed Oliver picks up a sack, and he's also injured on the same play. But he does leave us with a 3rd and 14, and Levis throws it away. We'll have to settle for the punt there. At least a little bit of some position battle. But what I was going to say, while we're throwing the ball, we seem to be spreading it around, as it's an interception for Jair Alexander. A forced fumble and pick in his debut game. We gave up a lot for him. We got a decent back in return. All in all, it's looking like a pretty good trade for us, as Kyron Williams, injured on the play, also happened to be a hat trick play for him. Hopefully that is not a big one. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever you do for some good luck. He does give us a 35-17 lead against another 2-win team. Jair Alexander knocks it away. So it's not like we're doing this against top-tier talent, but it's something we needed to see nonetheless. Defense gets the stop. Offense back out there, as Kyron Williams did get the rush there. So that is good. As we're going to start moving forward a little bit quicker here, we're into the fourth quarter. For a 4th and 5, we could take the field goal here or not. Aubrey missed it. Could have made it 38-17, make us feel really comfortable. Instead, Slayton, he's going to pick up a nice game. Alden knocks it away on 1st down. Then thrown away, 3rd and 10. They get 5. Do they go for it? Yeah, they do. Nico Collins, 17 yards, getting him down close to the 30. 11 more to Dalton Kincaid. As we're closing into 6 minutes left, a second pick, a 3rd forced turnover from Jair Alexander. Talked about our need for him to come in and force some turnovers. He has definitely done that today. Unfortunately, the offense does not run out the clock. Tillery then also flagged, but we are sitting pretty comfortable right now. 5 minutes left here. We have about double the points of the Jets, and we just need to see that clock hit 000. Though the Jets are trying to drive, JOK knocks it away. 3rd and 6, they get 6 and the first down. Sack from Tillery. Gotta see that a little bit more often. Thrown away 3rd and 13, they get 10. I'm sure they're going for it here on 4th, and they will convert once again. Nico Collins. Slayton gets 11. 10 goes back to Slayton. 2nd and 1. Touchdown, Nico Collins. They make it 24 points, still leaving them down by 11 with 2 minutes left. And we recover the onside. Just need a run for the first down. Kyron Williams will get 6-3 on 3rd and inches. 2-minute warning and a sack from Aaron Donald. What happened there on 3rd down? It was just the sack. It just came across strangely. All right, that works. Well, that will give the Jets another opportunity here on offense. They do not have any timeouts left. Big yardage to Amari Cooper. They've got a lot of pretty decent receivers on this squad. 9 going back to Slayton. 21 back to Amari Cooper. 30 seconds left. Amari Cooper again, 19. And they get 5. Time running out here. Touchdown Slayton with 13 seconds left. They hit the 2-point try down a field goal. Can they recover the onside? No. That is the win. We let up a little bit late there, but we definitely were just in cruise control. Overall, a fantastic debut from Jair Alexander, and Will Levis and the offense put up 35 points. Cannot overlook that. And I just had to include it here. Following that game, week 8, not only was Jair Alexander, the guy we traded for, earning AFC Defensive Player of the Week, but the guy we did not trade in Will Levis, he earned AFC Offensive Player of the Week, going 16 of 22, 245 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He was sacked twice. He also ran the ball a little bit. That is great to see. We just need to see the team continue on that trend. But consistency is what this team has lacked as we drop the next 2 games, both by a difference of 4, 28-24 against the Broncos and 21-17 against the Seahawks. Taking a quick recap from these games. Didn't even look at the score sheet here. Look, again, pretty balanced throughout. Obviously, Denver just ended up with more. Will Levis, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pretty much averages 1 a game. 70% completion, not bad though. Gavin Albertson, the second-year quarterback for them, pretty much the exact stat sheet. Though, technically, by the QBR, Levis had the better game. Kyron Williams, a great game. 20 carries. That is what we need from him every single week. Could use a touchdown on there. Javonte Williams, again, very similar between these two teams. Keenan Allen was their best receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson was ours. Only 2 catches, though. 98 yards and a touchdown. He had a long of 71. Our more consistent catcher was Tyler Higbee. And did we see much from Claypool? Only 1 catch, so he seems also pretty hit or miss. Defensively, Bentley led us in tackles with 10. How about TFLs? Josh Allen with 3. We gave up 2 to Tyree Wilson. Bashal had 1. McFadden 1. Eccles 1. So a lot of guys getting involved. 5 times was Josh Allen in the backfield. And we also got a sack from Paschal, so that's good in his new role. And then a split between Eccles and Gilman. So a lot of guys making some plays. We got the pick by JOK. We gave 1 up to Lloyd, so the middle linebacker showing up. And Aubrey hit all of his kicks, and we actually attempted a field goal and made 1. That, technically an improvement. Though, obviously, it came in a loss. As the Seahawks, technically, this was a comeback win as we went into the 4th quarter up. Not by much, but still we were up, and then we just couldn't score in the 4th quarter. Taking a look at the sheet here, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions from Mahomes. Will Levis, just a very pedestrian game out there. Rushing, Derrick Henry had a pretty good one. Kyron Williams, here are the touchdowns, though 50 yards. So maybe find the middle ground between these last 2 games. Receiving, Claypool here, he was the leading receiver. So yeah, he's very up and down. Beverly, less than a first down a catch. take it or leave it. A pretty typical game from Higbee. Need to find a way to see if we can get Vernon out there a little bit more. Maybe rotate those receivers. That might be the key. Bentley once again leading in tackles. Gilman also at 9. TFL's Yaya Diaby. He was in the backfield 3 times. Gilman 1. And we got 1 more from Pashal. So it definitely seems like the new rotation is working better. We're getting more from the defensive line. And kicking, Aubrey once again, he's attempting things. Still an improvement. But here in week 11, right before our bye, we find ourselves facing the Tennessee Titans, and we are just behind them in the division, though if I'm not mistaken, we lost to them earlier in the season. We lost to a lot of people earlier in the season. So a win here could be really big. Texans also on 4 wins. We've got to try to keep up with the Jaguars. This is a pretty key game. So as we normally do to fit in as many games as possible, we're going to start with a quick sim, and it's a good start for us. We got a touchdown, a quick turnover forced, and another touchdown. We take a 14-0 lead, though immediate drive from the Titans. Looks like maybe a turnover, they score off of it, and before half, they take the lead. So we own the first, they own the second. Who owns the third? Titans will tack on a field goal, get a stop, tack on some more points, and now it is 24-14 as the fourth quarter begins. So they took the third for sure. Now we need to take the fourth if we're to have any shot in this one. 3rd and 8, good stop. Love knocks it away. Offense headed out. We need a touchdown drive here as it's knocked away play 1, thrown away play 2, 15 to Beverly play 3. Let's just do that more often. A lot more easier said than done. 3rd and 2, we get a first down, Kyron Williams. 12 more yards, Beverly. Good enough spot to jump in. Obviously didn't get to see a whole lot from the offense in that previous game besides the line moving on the screen. See if we can get a touchdown here as we get a decent run, 14 rushes. Not awful from Williams, especially since we've been chasing most of this half. 2nd and 6, 5 minutes left. We need a touchdown at the 18 here. Levis looking to throw, dumps it off, close to the first down. They'll mark it 3rd and 2. Just need to focus on getting that first down first and foremost. Though, again, time not on our side. Receiver in motion, fake the jet sweep, hand it off. Kyron, he finds some space, first down inside the 10, down to the 8. If we could hurry up our offense here, that would be great. We need 2 touchdowns still in this one. And a goal to go at the 8. Will Levis throwing down to the bottom, and he has the touchdown going to the rookie. It's Johnny Beverly. That'll make it a 1-score game. About 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Play 1, gain of 1. 2nd and 9, they get 8. 3rd and 1, come on here, defense. Yes, loss of 2. Defense gets the stop. We take over with 2 minutes left. Now let's make sure we get this ball in the end zone. We're playing for overtime here as we start at the 34. Once again, we're a down the field throwing team. Let's throw down the field, but can we throw it accurately down the field? That was a little bit more of a medium pass, not where Will Levis' accuracy is the highest. Short and deep. That's going to be our 2 options. As we got our tight end coming across, it's lofted, but Blackburn, stop. I honestly couldn't read what the name was. But whatever the name is for their linebacker, great play. He's gotten a couple swats in this one. 3rd and 10. We got our guy sitting, but it's the same linebacker making the play. It is Blackstock, so I wasn't completely wrong. I think that was one of my guesses. 4th and 10, though. Double A gap look. They will drop back into coverage. We got our guy coming across. We had 2 options to catch that. Neither one worked. It's a turnover on downs. And unfortunately, it puts the Titans in field goal range. So unless we can force a turnover, not looking promising. But you've just got to go for those, as with that animation, I thought Kamara fumbled. But instead, he didn't. Gain a 2. They call a tie, or actually we call a timeout. Then would it make sense? As it's another handoff, 3rd and 1. Defense, you got to have this one, then an immediate touchdown and onside, and have some fun. A quick stop down the middle is J-OK, though Pashal injured. Looks like it could potentially be an ankle injury, but that should send out the field goal unit here. A block would be amazing, especially if we picked it up and scored off of it. Wouldn't that be fun? But instead, the kick is up and it is drilled. And that puts us now down 2 scores. And last time we were out here, we couldn't complete a pass, though, as we come out now. Claypool, one-on-one to the left-hand side. If he could get the release, get a decent ball out there, and there we go. We have completed a pass. Not a touchdown, but to start. Again, especially going off of the last time we were out here where we didn't complete a single pass, it's an improvement. And they are playing press across the board here. We just need someone to win. Beverly on the outside needed that one a little bit taller. McDuffie able to get a hand on it. Now they're not going to be playing as much press. So those were our 2 chances. As Will Levis, he's coming out here trying to buy some time. And that throw is going to come up well short. Looked like maybe he was looking for a back shoulder throw for the rookie, but instead it was a nowhere near throw. As Robinson towards the sideline, catch, first down, out of bounds. Trying to be efficient in the manner of which we get the catches, but also get out of bounds as quickly as possible. 3 to the left-hand side, Higbee to the right. Need someone to make a play. Back shoulder throw this time. Claypool, he didn't get the foot in bounds. Couldn't ask for a better opportunity, but you could ask for the better play. Or better reaction, better awareness. There's several better things we could have had there. Get this one over the top for Robinson. That placement is beautiful, but no timeouts, which means we got to get back to the line quickly here. Need the end zone. Probably not a great play choice. Rarely works here. Let's shake it up instead then. As Levis looking to tuck and run. First down, but not into the end zone. Quickly getting back to it then. Actually like the route, the flat there from Higbee. As that's where we're going to go. Possession catch comes up short. Come on now. What more do we need here? Time running out. We still need the touchdown, an onside recovery, and a little bit more. There we go. It's Robinson. We get the touchdown, but work still yet to do. And it all comes down to this right here. Onside. It's kicked up, but recovered by number 8 of the Titans. Well, we gave it a good shot there late. We got the bounce. We just weren't sitting where we needed to sit. And that's going to make things a little bit more difficult moving forward. And as we would then move forward a couple more weeks through the bye and through week 13, we would drop another game, this time to the Chargers, 21-10. The offense really didn't seem to get going very much. 2 interceptions for Will Levis. He had a 30.7 QBR. That is awful. Kyron Williams, though, he had a pretty good game. Honestly, there's probably not much of a reason to even look at the receiving game because it wasn't a good game for Will Levis. Valentine back from injury, a pretty good game here for him. Tackles for a loss, none for us, only 2 in total in this game, no sacks. And the interceptions, well, Alohi Gilman did get one, but CJ Gardner-Johnson and Steven Nelson pick us off, and at least we hit all of our kicks. But there was at least one good thing that did come from this game. In week 14, we have the breakout opportunity here for Alohi Gilman. And it's going to be up against the Jaguars. They're well ahead of us. I think we get through this game and hopefully we see a nice dev boost coming our way. He's going to have to be a combined 2 interceptions, forced fumbles, tackle for a loss, or sacks for Alohi Gilman, or the defense in general. They're going to have to hold the Jaguars to less than 150 passing. I doubt that's going to happen against Lamar Jackson, but we can hope. And in a surprising twist of stats, it's still a loss. We lose to Jacksonville 38-16. Though we had 404 yards, Jaguars only had 282, and we actually held them to less than 150 passing. 135 is all Lamar had. So interesting to say the least, but it was yet again another awful game from Will Levis. Slightly better QBR though, 52.1. But 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. He completed 60% of his throws. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson only had to throw for 135, but it was for 3 touchdowns. We did pick him off, but he also completed 75%. Kenneth Walker, fantastic game. Kyren Williams doing about as much as he could. Benny Snell gets in the end zone. Receiving Wan'Dale Robinson, a good game, same as Claypool. Wicks gets 2 touchdowns on us. Defensively, Ernest Jones, 10 tackles. In fact, the top 4 tacklers all on their side. JOK gets 7 to lead us. Tackles for a loss, Danielle Hunter, no longer part of the Vikings, sadly. Juwan Bentley gets 2 tackles for a loss, 1 for Paschal. We get 1 there from Allen to round out that. Sacks, none. The interceptions, the 1 went to Alohi Gilman, though he needed a combined 2 and he did not get the other stats. But the defense still came through, and he at least got half the stats that he needed. And in what evidently is another losing season, this is a win for us. Our safety gets a dev boost. He is now a superstar, and guys that we have tried to move on from in this series, Gilman I've tried several times. It just never has worked out. He's now the superstar. Will Levis has not done very well the last few games, but at the start of this episode, he was really good. So, a little bit of some up and down. And with not much more to highlight the rest of the way here, we are down to week 18. Now, we did win a close game against the Rams, 36-35, but we also lost 34-14 and 38-7 along the way. So, this is going to be, at least with the record, the worst season we've had, possibly at least. It might tie season 1 with 5 wins. We got 1 win against the Saints, Texans, and Jets we got to win against. And then with that Rams, it gives us an opportunity, if we could pull off a win here against the 49ers, to at least level the record from season 1, though it's a step down from last year. We'll actually be getting the action started in the 4th quarter, where it is 28-20. Let's see what we could do in crunch time, as that was nearly intercepted. Intended to get that ball to Vernon, who has been getting the start the last few games over Claypool, just to get him some development, because that is still what this season or series has all been about, as Levis coughs it up. You didn't have to throw the ball away on the sack, but he does. And honestly, probably would have been better if you were just throwing away the ball than taking the sack. Just do it before the guy gets there. As the 49ers looking to widen their lead here, it's an injury for Brady Christensen. So an unfortunate way of looking at it, it buys us a little bit more time here in this one to try to make something happen. Empty set, as Minshew dumps it off close to, and they will get the first down. And I'm just curious, how many of you watching here today were around this channel when we had the Pacific Northwest State-Only Challenge? Gardner Minshew led us to a Super Bowl dub as Diaby smacks him down in the backfield. 2 sacks for him on the day. But I have to give at least a little bit of love for Minshew from that series. He wasn't even our starter for most of the year. If I'm not mistaken, it was Marcus Mariota until right before the playoffs. Then we had to go, due to injury, to Gardner Minshew, and he just lit it up. It was a fun series to watch. I want to say Madden 23 as the touchdown comes in right in front of our defender. Well, jumping forward a little bit more here, 35-20, still here in the 4th quarter, obviously, otherwise we'd be done. We're in plus territory. We find Vernon coming across the middle, takes a couple pop shots, but he'll hold on to the ball better than we saw from Will Levis on the previous drive. Down to the 30, 2 receivers up top, 2 tight ends down below. We've also been getting the start to Tommy Tremble over Higbee the last few games, again due to just trying to get him progressing, though. Unless this is a 2 tight ends, it is a 2 tight end set up top. I was about to say, did Madden change my depth chart yet again? Levis stepping up, he rips it downfield, missing a wide open player, and Kyren Williams shaken up. Honestly, not much worse that could have happened there. 3rd and 13, 2 up top, 1 down to the bottom. Will be a throw, Levis, pass rush, does get back there. Max Crosby drops him, but the offense will stay out on 4th down. 4th and 18, because why not? Levis has his guy and he missed it. I think that will do for us today. But it will unfortunately solidify this as being the worst season with the record, at least this season. And honestly, even the play on the field, I would say, resembles that record. We were just extremely inconsistent. Will Levis, he took a step backwards. And as mentioned at the top of the episode, Will Levis, he was trending towards it being one of his worst seasons, and indeed it was. He had barely more yards than he had his rookie season, with the same amount of touchdowns, though more turnovers. His longest pass was a lot longer, so that's better. He was sacked less often, actually the least amount he's been sacked throughout the series. He threw for less passes than he did in any year, and he completed less passes than he did in any of the seasons. So we have an issue. It's Will Levis, but he's the highest rated quarterback we could possibly be using. Where we have a guy who continues to make plays at running back, Kyren Williams. Still less yards than he had previously, but it's still over 1,000. 4.4 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns. He did have another fumble this year, but we've just got to get him the ball more often. Will Levis did run the ball in for 3 more touchdowns, though he did have a fumble this year. We saw it in that last game. He literally just threw it away. Benny Snell, he did get 6 touchdowns, as well as 3 from Xander Horvath, and we did get 1 rushing touchdown from Tommy Tremble. As for the receiving, the rookie in Beverly went over 1,000. Hopefully, that puts him maybe in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and with that could be a development boost. He did also have 7 touchdowns, which led the team. As for the rest of the yardage, well, Wan'Dale Robinson still a solid number 3 here. Maybe he could use a few more touchdowns. Claypool, he did okay. 36 grabs, you can double that to get it close to where Beverly is, and you're sitting about at a similar yardage total with similar touchdowns. So a lot of these guys play pretty similarly. Vernon did not get to see very much play time this year. Maybe we give him more of an option next year. We're going to just have to play the hot hand when it comes to these receivers. And Tommy Tremble, not as many opportunities as Higbee, though that could change come next season. Blocking wise, we actually didn't do that bad. 9 for McGlinchey, 7 for Fortner, 5 for Stanley, 4 for Truman, 1 for Gaines, and not a whole lot of playing time. But Aaron Banks, a fantastic season. As for the defense, 128 tackles for JOK, 116 for Bentley, 2 guys over 100 tackles for loss, back to 4 guys in double digits. Allen 15, Diaby 14, then Paschal and Rankins both had 10. Sack-wise, I think Allen, that's 2 years in a row, 10.5. Gonna have to double check that. Slight improvement, 10.5 this year, 10 last year. Outside of him, Diaby had 4, 3.5 for Paschal, so at least we're getting something. It's just not a whole lot. Interception leader, Gilman and Alexander both have 5, and then a handful of other guys with 1. Forced fumbles this year, we had 4. Of those 4, we recovered 2, so is what it is. Any block kicks, we had 2, Allen and Rankins. Safeties, none. Defensive touchdowns, none. Kicking wise, 41 of 42 on extra points, so we missed 1 point there. And then we did miss, actually a quarter were missed of the total attempts by Aubrey. So not a great season for him, though in the grand scheme of things, what are those 4 field goals really going to do for us when we only manage to win 4 games? Well, that will leave us with 2 seasons left in which we have to win a Super Bowl before this challenge is yet another failed one. Madden has not been all too kind, but hopefully Will Levis and some other guys start stepping up like the rookie in Beverly. A great season. Hopefully we build upon that, and hopefully we can find a few more pieces to add on the beginning of next episode. This will be the final one of this week. Again, with a new schedule, you got one more video this week, which will be tomorrow. Playoffs in the Panthers franchise. Do not miss it. Hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down, hit the sub button, and definitely make sure you tap the bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series is now every Tuesday and Thursday, so season 4 will begin next Tuesday, where we've got to make some moves. We made a big one. Defense seemed slightly improved, but it's all about consistency, and that is what we need to find.